Hello there everyone, how you doing today? I hope you're all well. Today we're going into r/entitled people, where the people, as you would guess, are very entitled. If you enjoyed today's video, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below with your thoughts on the stories. Now, without further ado, let's get started.
Everyone here knows me.
Yeah, no they don't. For a period of about 3 years in the early 2000s, I worked as a bank teller. For the most part, it was a good job. My customers were nice, my coworkers were fun to be with, and I enjoyed myself. The branch I worked at was in an area of town that had a lot of retired people who had all purchased their homes 50 years earlier and had never left. They were retired factory workers, construction workers, police officers, firefighters, teachers, and service industry workers. I say that to point out that this was a solidly working class neighborhood, that at least 50% of our day-to-day business with was customers who had been coming into that branch since the Kennedy administration. This was a problem for new employees. We would regularly get yelled at by Karens when we asked for identification, something required to access bank accounts if the teller couldn't personally vouch for you. Now, most old Karens and Kevins wouldn't get pissy for a moment and claim that they've never been asked for an ID before. That would be BS, but they'd eventually relent and give me the ID I required. But oh no, not Queen Karen. Now, I had been at the branch for over a year at this point. I had gotten to know almost all the regulars, and no longer needed ID for them. If Mary came in, I could pull her account up in a heartbeat, since she was there 3 days a week. If Ed needed to cash a check, I did it without question, since Ed only ever came in to me, and I got to know him well. Enter Queen Karen, also known as QK. A woman in her late 70s, absolutely dripping in both diamonds and arrogance. The woman had some serious money and wanted everyone to know it. As I said, this branch was in a solidly working class area, but Queen Karen was wearing tens of thousands of dollars in diamond jewelry, and had pulled up in a brand new Mercedes S-Class. From the moment she walked in the door, she wore an expression like she was being forced to handle warm dog doo-doo. Good morning, ma'am. How can I help you today?
I need to pull $5,000 out of my savings. All in hundreds, please.
She hands me a withdrawal slip with her name and account number filled in. Certainly, ma'am. I just need a photo ID, please.
No.
Excuse me?
I had never been asked for ID before, and I won't be asked for it today. Everyone here knows me, so just do what I ask.
Okay, ma'am. Can you tell me which teller knows you? If they sign off on the withdrawal form, I'll be happy to help. This was allowed as an acceptable ID, but we were told it was only to be used for customers who branch employees knew personally and could guarantee are who they say they are. It also protected me. If another teller signed the withdrawal form and Queen Karen turned out not to be who she claimed, the other teller would take the hit, not me.
Everyone, just go ask someone else.
Of course, ma'am. Please give me a moment. I went to every single employee of the branch, I talked to every teller, every loan officer, our investment broker, and both the branch management and assistant manager, who will show up again in a moment. No one in that branch had a clue who Queen Karen was, including employees who had been there for more than a decade. I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't seem to find anyone who knows you, so I will need to see ID. I understand that this is an inconvenience, but it is for your safety. We don't want someone to take money out of your account by pretending to be you.
No, I refuse to be treated this way. Everyone here knows me. I've been banking here longer than you've been alive, and have quite a bit of money with your bank. Don't make me take my money elsewhere.
At this point, the assistant manager heard the commotion and came over to see what was going on. I let her take over and deal with Queen Karen. She got paid for that. I didn't. After some back and forth about how I wasn't doing my job, and how I was an incompetent boob, how she had so much money at that bank, and how asking for an ID, in her view, was accusing her of being a criminal, and my assistant manager was about ready to punch her in the face. Again, ma'am, we ask for ID to protect your account. Would you want someone to come in here, pretend to be you, taking money out of your account simply by giving your name?
Don't be ridiculous. No one would do that. Now you're just making things up to cover for the fact that you and this teller are incompetent. My name is all you're going to get.
Ma'am, if you do not show us an ID, we will not process your withdrawal. Period.
Listen here, you little witch. Do you have any idea who I am? I'm half tempted to close my account here just to teach you a lesson. But fine, you want to play it that way, then let's let you have your fun.
Queen Karen proceeded to open her purse and throw her ID, her checkbook, a credit card, a social security card, an AARP card, a half a dozen other things at me, like she was trying to kill me with them. With each card thrown in my face, she called me stupid, an asshole, worthless, a nobody, and so on. Assistant manager, that's it. You have the ID you need. Please close this woman's account and issue a cashier's check for the amount. All of them? All of them. She is no longer a customer here.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Ma'am, we tried to be polite, but you wouldn't have it. You will not insult me or my tellers, and you most certainly will not throw things at them when they are doing their jobs. You are no longer welcome in this branch. We are closing your accounts, and you are free to open accounts at another bank. And that's exactly what we did. Queen Karen tried to scream about how we had no legal right to do that, but we did. Bank accounts are owned by the bank. Opening an account just means the bank is allowing you to use them to hold your money and process your financial transactions. So as long as all of the money in the account is returned to you, banks are well within their legal right to close your account. It took about 10 minutes. 10 minutes of Queen Karen screaming at both me and the assistant manager, issuing hollow legal threats about lawsuits. But all of our checking and savings accounts were closed. I printed up a check for the mid-six figures made out to her. Assistant manager signed it. I couldn't sign off on checks that high, and Queen Karen was shown the door. As a parting gift, the assistant manager told her that the police would be involved if she ever came back to that branch again. That assistant manager is a legend. My former brother-in-law just found out I play Pokemon Go and demands I erase my account. Okay, my former brother-in-law wants me to have zero contact with his son. I'm okay with that. I refuse to follow his rules before and have zero contact, but I will not cater to outlandish demands like this one. I play Pokemon Go and have been playing it since it launched. I play with friends and my husband. We have been on this for a while, and my nephew used to play when his mother was alive. I barely know who is on or what. I just send them gifts and nothing else. Recently I got an email from my father-in-law, demanding I stop playing since his son and stepson play. I'm like, okay, whatever, pal, and ignored the email entirely. He continued to email and then told a lawyer about it, but there is nothing he can do to stop me, and I was just sent an email asking to delete my nephew's friend profile from my account. I did that, hoped that was enough to shut the entitled guy up. Yeah, no, he wants me off the game entirely, flat out. I mean, he has full custody of my nephew. What else does the jerk want from me? I don't even consider my nephew family anymore, and I practically erased all trace of my nephew's pictures from my Facebook and Instagram. I also erased contact information, but the guy does have email, but not a phone number or any other contact information. I emailed him and told him I will not be deleting my account on Pokemon Go, so grow the hell up and leave me alone. I also said I would contact my husband's lawyer and we'd be in touch. He backpedaled and asked me what he did. He contacted me after I told him to move on and leave us alone. I want nothing to do with him or my nephew. I am not going to do any damn requests or take threats lying down. It's just a game I play with people. You called worse than drug addicts, so frick off. He hasn't responded since I sent that message, and I got called a B-word by one of his friends because I actually had the gall to not fold to his demands. I honestly don't get why father-in-law can boss me around like I'm some child, and I never requested visits with my nephew since 2022, and refused to send gifts, so what the hell? It isn't like his son can send me messages over Pokemon Go. I also told his lawyer what they do for them, and them alone. I want no contact or any information if there is an emergency. Could careless of my nephew ends up in foster care. If something happens to father-in-law or his current wife, it isn't my fault or responsibility. His lawyer said I am fed up and don't want to deal with this anymore. In fact, his lawyer took my side, saying that the demands were outlandish and rude. Father-in-law can't tell me I can't attend anime, sci-fi, and events I have planned for years for fear of my nephew would be attending. I am not interested in a relationship with a kid I barely know anymore. So why does this guy get off on talking shit? He is entitled, and I want no desire for him to disrupt my own life to appease him. All because I play a game on a phone while walking to work. Woman at Disney steals bathroom stall from disabled kid. This happened a couple of weeks ago, and I'm barely calming down. So I took my disabled son with me to the bathroom outside of Soarin over California. He is in a wheelchair and cannot take more than a few steps, if that sometimes. Instead of blocking the regular line, I pull his wheelchair all the way to the back, where the disability stalls are. They were occupied for 10 minutes. One had a woman with 3 kids, and the other had a woman with a small baby in a stroller. I had no problem waiting. The custodian noticed me there, and the regular line was moving fairly quickly. At most, 2 or 3 people would be waiting for 30 seconds before stalls opened up. I was clearly visible, but out of the way. Finally, one stall opens up, and I hold the door open with one hand as I wheel my son around the door. Suddenly, this woman slides into the stall and says,
"You have to let me go. I need to go. It's coming out of me."
And I'm shocked and holding the door with one hand and my clearly disabled son in the other hand, and told her no, that I waited my turn specifically for a disability stall. The custodian immediately comes over and tries to get the piece of trash out of the stall, but the woman refuses to exit. The custodian is telling her to use a regular stall as they are opening up. The trash fights me for the stall door for a bit, but I wasn't letting her through, so she says,
"Fine, you can watch me go,"
and pulls down her pants. At that point, I let the stall door go, but she is too far deep in to close the door. But that didn't bother her at all, so the custodian held the door closed for her. She finally exits and has a smug face and says,
"Sorry, I really needed to go."
I told her she was a POS for stealing a stall from a disabled person, and she's just laughing, saying,
"Sorry, I really had to pee. I was about to pee myself."
And when the custodian again told her there were regular stalls available, she says,
"Sorry, I didn't see them. I ran to the first open one I saw."
I have no idea if she even waited in the line because I was so shocked when she slid into my stall. I didn't look back because I couldn't process what was happening. It wasn't until afterward that I wish I asked the custodian to call security or take her picture to blast on social media. Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below, and maybe hit that notification bell. I will see you all next time. Hasta la pasta.